this week's episode of Car Stars and Roll Bars. Do me a favor. Help me out on the social media. Do the like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell, and you'll know what's coming up. In our episodes, we have all the aspects of car culture, the people that own the cars, they build the cars, some of the celebrities, and we also are getting access insider view to some amazing museums. And today, believe it or not, we got the good folks with us from the California Automobile Museum. They're outside near Sacramento, California. And it's our pleasure to have with us Gabe, Ionica. And Gabe, he's got his bachelor's degree. He's been in this a while. And he is their communications coordinator. I'd call him the director. He's taking care of all this. And as if he has enough going on, he also does all kinds of social media work, other platforms, and helping out cars and coffees groups and staying very active. Now, ordinarily, this is when we bring the guest on, but we're going to do a little different this week. Now, we're talking about a museum, which usually they're kind of static, which is great. Don't get me wrong. You get to walk through and see a lot of cool cars. But how about a car museum that goes out of their way to create a huge cruise? In this case, it's called Cruise Fest. And Rick, I think we got a video that we can pull up and sit back and enjoy the cruise. We'll be right back. How cool was that? And we're talking about a museum. So I think we got Gabe sitting ready to come online with us. He's hanging out, chilling in his office there in beautiful downtown kind of Sacramento area. How you doing, brother? Good to see you this morning.
Good, good. I wish my office was this bus, but it's not my office. It's just a bus we have for sale. I thought it would be appropriate for the show.
And so we're going to be talking about this. So you're sitting inside a bus that the viewers would say, ooh, I'd like to add that to my collection. You have that capability of, well, excuse me, I've decided I'm a frog in my throat this morning. Talk a little bit about the museum. You guys been around since the late 80s. You get around 60,000 visitors a year. You're very active. You do what fascinates me, you do a lot with students as well. Like you have some classes to kind of get the younger kids interested in this amazing culture and kind of paying it forward a little bit. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah. I'd say you got it about right.
Very, very cool. And I think we've got some shots of the exterior of your facility, and you guys are kind of leaving no stone unturned to everybody have a cool experience from about the time they pull into the parking lot. Talk a little bit about this. That's pretty cool.
So that's one of the murals we have on the outside of the building. It sort of highlights 4 of the sort of major cars we have in the museum. I'm not entirely sure how they picked those cars. That was a little bit before my time. But it's sort of become almost an icon of our museum. We have it on hats, we have it on magnets, on shirts.
Nice.
Whenever people see that, they know that that's our museum. You know, that's where that belongs.
Beautiful. And there's another shot. Wow.
Yeah, so that sort of highlights some of the local hot rodder culture, like George Barris and the like.
Oh, yeah.
That was actually part of a Wide Open Walls project they did a few years back.
Really?
So all of that hand-painted, you know, no computer aid, no nothing. Wow. Dude just went to town, did it on his own. Yeah, he's crazy.
And of course, then there's the entrance. That's where I'd be kind of getting excited and saying, okay, now we're getting ready to see the cool stuff, right?
Gives you a nice preview. Yeah, we have the nice wide windows so you can immediately see what you're getting into before you even step through the door.
Well, tell you about the old phrase you mentioned, getting into it. Rick, do me a favor. Let's pull up. We've got a few I think we call cool stuff because they fit in this amazing category. I've been a hot rodder for many, many, many years, Gabe. What is that?
So that is called the Saber 60 Junkyard Mongrel. It's actually a fully handmade car that an old Air Force lieutenant made back in, I believe, the 60s.
Wow.
So he made that, and one of the motorhome that I believe I sent you a picture of as
Yeah.
well. He basically didn't like the cars that were on offer at the time, and so he raided the junkyard, and that's what he came up with.
And I think, yeah, there we go.
There it is. That's it. Yep. Mm-hmm. So that's called the Star Streak.
The Star Streak. So
yes.
So is that drivable?
Pretty much. At some point.
Yeah.
I think they used to take it out every now and then.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
But I mean, it's massive. I think it's got a drivetrain from an Oldsmobile Tornado. But at that weight, I don't know if it really still has any get up and go.
Yeah, so her acceleration might be a little bit questionable, and if I'm not mistaken, I think you have a very breathtaking Merc there as well. There we go.
Yeah, so
wow.
That one I believe got sold a few years back at an auction. I'm not entirely sure how much it pulled, but it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that was made for a man. His last name was Hirohata, I believe.
Yes.
And essentially, this hot rod became so big when it came out because it didn't look like anything that was around at the time. The bright colors are striking. You know, it's not any of that. When you think of a hot rod, you think, exposed engine, Ford Model A, whatever. This is a very clean, chopped Mercury, bright paint job. It just stood out among the rest at the time.
And I think Sam Barris and his gang, they had something to do with that, if I remember.
I believe they were the builders, yes.
Yeah. So you have a pretty rough job. Let's talk a little bit about some of the programs. I look at all my notes because, viewers, there is a lot going on with this guy, this group, museum, how you call it, on the third Sunday of each month. Now, help me understand this. So if I show up and I buy a ticket to the museum, because I got to do that so I can see all the cool stuff, I get a chance to ride shotgun in a really cool classic car?
Basically, yeah. So we have a roster of, I think, either like 5 to 6 cars that we take out every third Sunday. And with admission, you get to go for a ride around, I think it's like a 10-minute route they take you on. And I mean, that's that.
That would just be phenomenal, because there's a lot of the people that enjoy these older cars. And as you can appreciate, Gabe, for a series of reasons, they probably won't be able to add one to their personal collection, right? However, to have this option, you're going to buy a ticket to the museum anyway, and just to get a chance to ride around and just enjoy the vehicle, you guys can be congratulated. So for the car clubs, a lot of car clubs check out what Car Stars and Robars is doing. You have a membership program for car clubs as well, I believe. Can you tell me a little bit more, Gabe?
Yeah, so I think right now it's $125 a year.
Okay.
And for that, you can choose between either you get 50 complimentary free passes to pass out to your members, or you get to rent out one of our meeting rooms for, whatever, birthday celebration, club meeting, whatever you want to do. And then you also get to participate in something we call Car Club Cavalcade, which we're still in the process of getting back up and running. And essentially what it is one corner of the museum. You get to bring a few of your cars, display them there, and it's essentially like an ad for your club.
Wow. Really? We just saw the information pop up. We'll share it again later. And so for the car clubs, this has got to be a win-win all around. They help a great museum. They get some exposure for their club. And what a great place, like, say, to celebrate somebody's birthday or a special meeting of your club. Plus, you get some tickets to come to the museum.
Exactly.
Excellent. And then and we've talked to also, because you and I have chatted quite a bit, and we've been really excited to have you on the show this week. So the facility is available for event rentals as well?
Right, yeah. So we have a big events room section right there. I'm looking at it. It can hold like somewhere around 300 people, I believe, and you can rent it out anything. We've had weddings, birthdays, celebrations of life, car showcases. We had Ford come in and show off their new Ford Lightning. few weeks ago. So just about anything you can think of, really.
Well, and you just hit upon something there, Gabe, is Rick, go and pull us back up. What a innovative way, because I'm just kind of stunned thinking about, to do a celebration of life. Because I've
Right.
attended, we've all attended a lot of them. Usually, there'll be a little, church or some setting.
Yeah, something somber.
Yeah, very somber, which, there's something to be said for that. But for people that are really dyed-in-the-wool hot rodders like yours truly, what a
Right.
better way to have a celebration of life than to be
In a
surrounded
car museum.
in a museum with this amazing collection. We're still not done, viewers, with all the cool stuff going on there, but we got some scenes we want to share with you to give you an idea. You already heard Gabe says, yeah, you walk up the doors, you look through the windows, you kind of get a sense what's going on. I think we got a few of those. Now, so there's the garage from back in the day, right?
Right, yeah. So that's sort of a place we have set up to look, like you said, an old school garage.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of car badges on the walls, old oil cans, old advertisements, a little bit of a throwback. And I believe that is a Stanley steamer that we have set up in front of the garage.
Oh, sweet. Those
Yeah.
you don't see very, so just to be able to walk up and see it, that would be very cool. What else?
Oh, yeah.
How cool is this?
Yep, that's,
you ever drive-in theater?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, we have it set up as a drive-in theater. We have a projector up ahead that plays a bunch of commercials for old movies from the 40s and the 50s, and
nice.
It's all the cars pointing at the wall like it's a real drive-through, walls painted, everything.
That is just nothing short of amazing. I love the fact you're redoing the commercials. Now, it looks like there's some fairly serious garb inside those glass cases.
Right, that's a bit of our collection of racing gear. That's in sort of the we call the Need for Speed corner, where we have race cars. There's a hot rod over there, some open wheel racers I'm looking at, and that's sort of the a highlight of the safety aspect of racing and how it evolved.
Sure. Absolutely. Wow. Is that a Nash?
That is. It's one of the Nash Metropolitans, and that's actually one of the cars we take out for Sunday drives.
Really? How?
Yes.
And I tell you, you don't see Nashes that often, and you get a chance to ride shotgun. That'd be cool. I'm kind of digging the gas pumps. I'm just saying, man.
Yep. Exactly. 3 cents a gallon.
Wow. Now this, when you sent me this picture, I just went, dude, the trailer paint scheme matches the car.
So that was actually one of our old exhibits from a few years ago.
Right.
I believe the theme of that exhibit was like road trips.
Nice.
And so they had everything, old trailers, station wagons, camp stuff, whatever.
Wow. That is very, very cool. So let's go back, because we're going to alternate viewers. We got some more shots coming up, hanging in there. So for the people that are viewing today, in like a reasonable distance of your facility, you have the capability, they can contact you, and you guys will arrange for some of your cars to make an appearance at their charity event, fundraisers, whatever they're doing. I got to learn more, man, because I think this is really cool.
Yeah, so that's part of our road crew program, where the cars that we that are part of the drivable roster, we will have some of our volunteers actually drive them out to the event, display them there, do whatever, and then just bring them back.
Really? So, and you are the king of segue, because my next thing I wanted to talk about, because viewers, Mikey's really interested in this one. I think you call it road crew, and there's many different levels to where people can come in and be a volunteer for the museum. Is that right?
Right, yeah. So road crew is the ones that actually drive the cars. And then we have pit crew, which are the ones that fix the cars. And then we have detail crew, which are the ones that clean the cars.
Wow. So about how big is your road crew right now?
Oh, man, I want to say maybe, I don't know, it's kind of small, maybe 6 to 7 people, something like that. I don't have to update a number off the top of my head.
Well, I mentioned to you before, to come from Las Vegas is a little bit of commute. Otherwise, I'd be there like every morning tapping on the glass saying, hey, how soon can I help?
Let me in.
We're ready. So you've been with these guys for a while before we jump back into some of the pictures. What's some of your favorite memories or comments from people who have come into the museum?
So we have the Cobra from the movie Ford vs Ferrari, the one they actually used in the movie.
Really?
And so last November, I'm just minding my own business at the front desk, and this guy comes in. I didn't know him at first,
Yeah.
and he says, "Hey, my name is Tony Hunt. I was the stunt driver for Ford vs Ferrari.
No
I got the Cobra outside." He's like, "Can I just leave it here for the winter?" I'm like, "Sure, yeah, why not? I guess," because he had already talked to the director and he got the okay. And so we go outside. The thing won't start. Apparently, it's got a problem where when it gets too hot, the starter has some issues.
Right.
And so I got the lovely opportunity to push start the Cobra from Ford vs Ferrari across the parking lot and watch it go up the ramp.
Wow.
So that was pretty
No,
cool.
that is
Yeah.
very cool. So what are some of the comments and feedbacks you've heard from your guests who come through or people who've had events there?
Obviously they like it. The kids are usually a fan of the Countach and the Ferrari that we have over there.
Yeah.
Or a lot of people say it's like it's a time machine. I've never seen it. It's been ages since I've seen this car, or
Perfect.
wow, I can't believe I get to ride in this car. That kind of thing.
So where do you see the museum in about 5 years?
Our collection's always growing, so I
Good.
think we're going to be a lot more varied in 5 years. Things are going to look a lot different. I know we're already planning on moving some stuff around, redecorating, whatnot. So it's never stale.
Excellent. And I know everybody wants to see more pictures, but there's just so much stuff going on with this guy. And you, in addition to this amazing museum, you also sell cars. Is that right? Because we touched on it early on. Can you give us more insight on that? Because that's kind of different.
Yeah. So when people donate cars, they go through our committee, and then the committee decides whether we add it to our collection or sell it. Or people can just straight up be like, "Hey, I want to sell my car on consignment with you. We take a fee.
Perfect.
We put the cars over here where I am right now,
Mm-hmm.
advertise it online in our binder over here, and then people just buy the cars like the one I'm in right now."
Wow. Very, very cool. Okay, viewers, you've been very patient with Gabe and I. So, Rick, I think we have a few. So this would be a shot when I'd be walking in, Gabe, and Mikey's pretty much just going to stop dead in his tracks, and you're probably going to have to restart my heart. What all are we seeing here, man? This is stunning.
That's right up front as you walk in. That's what we call our rolling exhibit area, where every 3 to 4 months we have a different themed exhibit. So last time it was lowriders. Right now it's alternative propulsion.
Wow.
And the next up is going to be cars from Steve Saleen, and then Woody's.
Oh, nice. I think we got a few more here because this is just fun to view all this. Wow.
That's a gift shop.
That's the gift shop? Oh,
that's the gift shop.
Dude, you've got to have a rough job, man. I mean, this is like enormously cool.
It's a lot of keeping up, but I manage.
Let's see what else we got. Wow.
Oh yeah, yep. There's a wider shot of that garage area, and that yellow Model T is actually one of the cars that you can get in, take a picture, and do whatever. We have like 3 or 4 of those scattered around the museum.
So attendees, your guests that come in, they could actually climb in that vehicle, sit down, and get a picture taken.
Yeah.
Wow. That makes them. I love that shot. I'm just always been a fan of big fins, and there's a whole bunch of finish going on here.
I think that was the theme of that particular rolling exhibit, was like the fin era.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's back when there's a whole bunch of real steel going on. You weren't too worried about fuel mileage.
All metal.
Wow.
And there's that Need for Speed area I was telling you about.
Wow. And that's a serious looking Indy car sitting there. Wow.
Yep.
So like some of the cars like this, that must have taken a while to accumulate this part of the collection because those are very unique.
Yeah, it's just people who have cool cars and don't really have an appropriate place to store them. And so they're like, hey, I might as well just put it in a museum. It'll be safe. People can look at it and it'll just be shown off.
Wow. That looks kind of serious.
Yeah. Another go fast car.
Oh yeah, you're about a half an inch off the ground and pretty much laying flat on your back, and off you go.
And I think if I see that correctly, the yellow hot rod on the right, that one was driven by AJ Foyt at some point.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. So yeah, for the viewers, when you get there, now this is kind of the other end of the go fast. We're not quite as fast. Yeah,
Fruit truck.
a fruit truck.
And
Wow.
then let's see, is the there we go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's a story.
So what's going on with this one, Gabe?
So that is a Lincoln KB, and this car belonged to a man named A.P. Giannini, who went on to create something you might have heard of, the Bank of America. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yeah, might have heard of that one.
Yep. It was, I believe it was one of the first cars to cross the Golden Gate Bridge when it was built.
Wow.
And he even had he had him mount a siren to the front of it, so he could get through the crowds easier, of course.
So how did you guys get your fingers on that one? Because that's amazing, especially with the story behind it.
I believe Bank of America reached out to us a few years ago, and they wanted a prominent place to display it, and so it's basically right up front in the museum. Every now and then, some representatives will come by, take a look at it, start it up, make sure it's all good.
Oh, really? So they just kind of said, "Hey, we'd like to just add this to what you got going on."
Would you boys
there,
like
right?
to take it? It's like, yes, we'll take it.
So, kind of get more insight on you as an individual. So what kind of led you down this path, and now you've got this really cool job at an amazing automotive museum. How'd all that happen?
I knew the right people.
Cool.
So I started going to Cars and Coffee events. I believe it was last year in somewhere around October, September, something like that. And I just started talking to people. One person introduced me to another, and then I got this job.
Wow. So for the viewers, because we get all demographics, so for some of the younger viewers, you're saying, yeah, this is kind of like where I'd like to go. Listen to what Gabe had to say, right? You're out there, you get introduced yourself to people you don't know.
Yeah.
And
you just got to talk to people. That's it.
Yeah. So as you look back over your career, and granted you're younger than some of the guests, but that's fine. So who would view as some of your favorite mentors that have really helped you with the trajectory of where your career's headed?
I would definitely have to say either Ken or Jeff. They know who they are. Ken is the first real guy that I met at a Cars and Coffee. He's the one that made all the main introductions. And then Jeff is the one that said, hey, the museum could use someone like you with your skill set. I could get your foot in the door. It's up to you from there. Do you want to take the opportunity? I'm like, yeah, of course I want to take the opportunity. I'm not going to say no to that.
Well, of course not.
And both of them have sort of told me to, always talk to people, always try to meet people, never, never settle. That's it.
Never settle. And the old phrase, network, right? Just
exactly. That's all it is.
You kind of talk. So I think I know the answer. What's an ideal weekend for you?
Car shows.
I was going to say you're probably at car
Monterey
shows.
Car Week, baby. Let's go.
Oh yeah, we've had some of the guys on from the couple of Concours, and we're going to have them back on. We have one here in Vegas in October, and
fun.
Some of those vehicles, they were, to me, like the quality of some of the ones you have in your museum. They're just breathtaking, the old Delahaye's and all that. So I tell everybody, if you get close to a Concours, just save up your nickels and go, right? Because you'll see some cars you will probably never have the opportunity to see otherwise.
Or you never even knew existed.
Or you didn't even know you existed. So separate from the museum, what's some of your favorite automotive memories?
Ooh, let's see.
Yeah.
Probably when I bought my Z.
Really?
Because it was my first and, still only classic car. Other than that, I have a 2013 Corolla. And at some point, I decided, I want a fun car. Let's see what's going on. So I went on Facebook Marketplace, browsed for a few months, found a nice 1986 Nissan 300ZX in pretty good condition. Took it to a few shops. Said, yeah, it's good enough for the price, so I bought it.
Because I was going to ask you what your favorite automobile is, but I think now is it that one, or do you have it? What is your extra special favorite automobile? If money
of all time,
if money was no object, we'll phrase it that way for you.
A Bugatti Type 57 SC.
Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah. For the viewers, if you haven't seen a Bugatti, Google it, and you pretty much First time I saw one live, I stopped breathing, dude. I mean,
I
it's
saw
just
my first Type 57 at the Quail last year in
yeah,
Monterey.
yeah,
Black with like yellow accents. Oh,
yeah.
oh, it's. I mean, it's a car, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's massive.
So, so for museums, because candidly, what I view what you guys have done, everything from the road crew to do the students and people can ride shotgun every third
Mhm.
Sunday. What kind of trends do you see coming up for museums like yours in the next 5 years?
I think we're gonna get a lot more people who want to see what was with
Oh,
sort
really?
of the EVs becoming sort of more and more
Yeah.
prevalent. I think that's gonna instill a lot of curiosity in how we got here.
Oh,
And so
okay, cool.
I feel like we're just gonna get a lot more curious people that might have never thought about the evolution of cars. Because at least in my lifetime, you know, I'm 23 now,
Hmm.
there's never really been such a big automotive development or push for something as there has been for EVs.
Good point.
And
Yes.
so if you're a kid like me and you've never been exposed to like the behind the scenes, you look at this new technology and you might think, you know, well, hold on, this is new. Where did this
Yeah.
come from? What was before this? And so it's like
Very good.
museums like this are a place where you can learn that.
That's great insight. A good friend of mine, quick story, he had flown to Seattle with his son who's like 20, and they went to a little small rental place to rent a little pickup, and they had to
Mhm.
wind up windows instead of power windows.
Oh man.
His son had never seen a wind up window before, and he was just fascinated moving that puppy back and forth.
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
because like I say, if you've never been exposed to it, you just saw all vehicles that had that little power switch,
Power
right?
windows, yeah, exactly.
Power windows, exactly. So, what are the hours for the museum, and where are you guys located?
We're open 10 to 5 every day except for Tuesday with last admission at 4 p.m. And we're
Okay.
located at 2200 Front Street in Sacramento, California.
And what's the website, contact information? Rick, I think we might have a slide on that. There you go.
There it is. calautomuseum.org, 916-442-6802.
Perfect. So before we say goodbye, well, what would you like to share with the viewers on the couple of reasons they absolutely positively have to come see you when they're in your neck of the woods?
So one of our themes for the museum is that we have cars people drive, right? You can
Cool.
go to something fancy like the Black Hawk or the
Yeah.
museum in Reno, and you can see fancy cars. You see the Bugatti, you see the Delahaye, you see the whatevers.
Yeah.
But we have cars that your grandpa might have driven. There's like a '56 Bel Air right there. Your grandpa might have had one of those, and you haven't seen one since then. So we have the cars of the people, if you will.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. And so folks, and you got to be checking these guys out because you know you're going to have a great time. The California Automobile Museum. Gabe, I can't thank you enough for being with us today.
My pleasure.
Have a great weekend. And when I'm in your neck of the woods, I'm going to be blowing your phone up, dude. I'm letting you know in advance. Say, I'm coming. Get ready. Just maybe you'll
We'll
open
see you.
early. Yeah.
We'll be ready for you.
All right, my friend. You have a great weekend. And thank you very much for being on the show. Bye-bye for now.
Have a good one.
All right, brother. And that concludes this week's episode of Car Stars and Roll Bars. I want to thank Gabe and everybody at the California Automobile Museum for sharing their insight on that great collection. You know you got to go. Don't forget, help me out on social media. That like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell. And until next time, enjoy the ride.